All right, Phil, we are good to go live whenever you are. Looks like we are live now. Welcome to today's call, guys. We are live on the social media blueprint.com/webinar. So, anyone that is in this call today would love for you guys to go in there and say, hey, let us know how you're going inside of that website. We'd love to hear from you guys. So, we know that you guys are live with us, as we do have people who are inside here, as you can see, but we also have people watching from afar via the social media blueprint. So, welcome to the call. Today's call is a motivation call where we kind of share our experiences and my name is Justin Holland. I'm 31 years old. I live in Melbourne, Australia. I started online a few years ago now, and it's been a whirlwind of a few years. I went from starting online, having no idea what I was doing, to being able to travel the world at my own at my own pace, and I had a great couple of years doing that. But upon returning to Sydney, um, I had got a girlfriend, and now I am a stay-at-home dad to a little boy. So that's been, I think, that whole process has been over 3.5 years. So as you can tell, pretty whirlwind if you ask me. But I wouldn't have it any other way. And the reason I'm able to do all this is because I work from my laptop or my Mac, which I'm in front of right now. So I definitely do not have an earring in. I have an AirPod, just like Phil does. But yeah, the reason I'm able to, sustain the life that whatever's thrown at me in life, I'm able to sustain that, whether it be wanting to travel or be a stay-at-home dad. And I'm sure next up I'll be traveling with my little one, just like we are for our Summit affiliate event in November. We're going to be in Bali. Our whole team's going to be in Bali. We're going to have some amazingly talented speakers and trainers who are going to, help you propel your online business, your online social media into basically the stratosphere where you're going to have no issues in scaling your business to the heights that you really think or really want to get to. And I have no doubts it's going to happen for you. I just remember when I first went to events like this, it was a game changer. But I have been to many events, and I know what I don't like and I know what I like. I'm going to make sure that we already know that we are going to bring the heat to the event in November. I'm excited to release some more details to you guys next week. But a lot of you guys on here that have no idea what you're doing, and that's okay. We have a link just below this video where you can join us at Summit Affiliate. You'll get invited to this amazing group of community, this amazing community just here. And you're also going to get invited to our to become a successful affiliate marketer, and also how to grow your social media accounts. So there's a couple of great little things in there, and it's only $7. So you're kind of winning on all fronts there. So jump in, click the link below, and you'll be able to join us on the inside. Now, I want to talk about today becoming an entrepreneur, and kind of an accidental entrepreneur. I know a lot of you guys would admit you're kind of becoming accidental entrepreneurs. You certainly didn't think that you were going to call yourself an entrepreneur when you started by clicking on some random link in the internet space. And I think moving from that employee mindset to the entrepreneurial life can be daunting. But I guess when you go into it accidentally, you kind of accidentally move your mindset from being an employee, having the employee mindset, into the entrepreneur mindset, because you have an open mind. It's not like you're starting a brick and mortar business where you're like, okay, I know I'm leaving my 9 to 5 job now, and I'm about to start this crazy business. What I used to do is teach kids to play soccer. So when I built that business, I was like, whoa, this is nuts. I had to have inventory, had to have staff, had to have had to hire places, had to I had a magnitude of things, and all those extra things in a business you just don't need in the online space. A solo entrepreneur, and I think I am freezing here, but hopefully we are good. I'm just going to keep talking now. So yeah, gotta love the Australian internet. I should have pretty good internet here, but you know, my internet's on the. But what I want to, what I'm going to do first and foremost is get Phil to come out while I change my internet. And I just want, just love for you to let us know about how you went from you were strictly a 9 to 5 worker, and you went into the online world as an accidental entrepreneur. And once Phil's done, we'll get a couple others out to share their experience in kind of accidentally getting to the space that they are in today. So hi, Phil.
Hey, so you guys can hear me loud and clear. See a thumbs up. You guys are good? Right. So what is up, everybody? My name is Phil Wilson. A little bit about myself. I'm actually a carpenter. I dropped out of high school at the age of 16. I went straight into working 70-hour weeks on the road for a year, but I realized quickly I needed to get some sort of qualification. So I became a carpenter, and I was a carpenter for about 10 years. I lived between New Zealand and Australia. But of course, during that time, I actually never wanted to be a carpenter. I was literally just first in woodwork at school. So my dad sort of forced me into going into the carpentry sort of aspect. It wasn't really a passion. It wasn't a dream. I always wanted to be able to travel the world, see amazing things. People would always tell me stories of, what's out there and that sort of thing. But I come from such a small little town that, my mind was very closed. So one day I literally had enough of everything. I was just willing to go out and explore the world. So I went backpacking for 8 months. And during those 8 months, my mind was just opened. I started to see different cultures, different countries, different currencies. As I got to meet so many different people. And from there, I started to find my actual drive and my passion for travel. So when I went back, obviously, when I ran out of money, and I had to crawl back to my old job in Australia, it was like one of the worst days. It was like, the massive high, and then went down low, and then skipped forward about a year and a half. Nothing had changed. I was back to my old routines, back to my old boring, depressing job. And I was just like, you know what, I'm ready to try some stuff. So I bought a bunch of internet programs. Everything sort of failed, except I met Justin. Interesting enough, I met Justin. We started going through a few training projects together. We started sort of learning the fundamentals of Summit Affiliate. Back then, we were trying things. We didn't really know what we were doing. We were just testing. If something worked, I'd share with him. If something worked for him, he'd share with me. And from there, we literally were able to create something very massive. And I think it was about maybe 6, 7, 8 months in, we started actually teaching people. And then you can see people like Jade, who's on this call, wherever she is. There she is. She was one of the lucky people that met us when we started teaching. And ever since then, we've been growing. She's been growing. Our students have been growing. It's literally just this weird sort of teacher and entrepreneurial role that just came about. I was just trying to get out of my job. I wasn't trying to do anything amazing. But what come out of it is being able to provide people, with a roadmap, how to, be able to change their life, sort of dictate what's going to happen in the future, create their own sort of path, I guess. And Justin said 9 to 5. My life was more like 6 to 6 every single day, 7 days a week. It was horrible. So I'm actually lucky enough to be in Playa del Carmen, Mexico at the moment. I just got here last week. I've been living in Bali for 6 months already this year. And then last year I was just all over the show. It's been 4 years on the road now. Zero regrets with anything I've done. It's been hard at the beginning for sure, but no matter what it is, it was worth it in the long run, 100%. It's probably the best thing I've ever done. And it's almost like considering my life sort of started again from there, from where I was to where I started going from there. That's when, the good part of the life, the good stories start beginning from there. So that's pretty much where I've been going. And I guess my biggest passion now is actually seeing other people do what I was able to do. It was exciting for me at the time, but now, things are starting to slow down a little bit, and I want to see other people do it. I'm trying to do the chain reaction. You throw grape at a wall and it explodes. I just want to get all these little, pieces. I just want to put a big dent into this thing and see how many other stories we can create from that. So, yeah, that's pretty much my story and what I'm trying to do in this online space. What about you, Justin? What's your story?
No, it's cool. Like I remember how you just said that 6 or 7 months into our kind of online world, we started teaching others. When I came into this online world, as selfish as it sounds, all I cared about was myself leaving my job. That's all I cared about. But it's funny how things can change, and as I said before, that accidental entrepreneurship that comes with being kind of starting in the online space. You don't know it's going to be like that, and that's okay. You roll with it. And who would have thought that this soccer coach and this carpenter 4 years later would be owners of a huge marketing company. It's pretty insane that we can say that. And I have no doubts that Phil 4 years ago would have had no aspirations into owning a company like this. All Phil wanted to do was travel and enjoy the beaches and stuff, which he still does. But things change, and he's, as he said before, his passion went from caring about himself and leaving the 9 to 5 to now having passions about his passion is to help others achieve that financial and kind of that financial freedom to do whatever they want. So it's a pretty interesting kind of what concept to think about, and it's a concept good to talk about because people see this and they think, oh, this is not really what I want to do. Trust me, it's not. We weren't sure that we wanted to own a company 4 years ago, that's for sure. So just know that you're on a path. You're here for a reason. You're here because you are looking for something different. And now you don't have to be a huge company owner. You don't have to speak on stages. You don't have to hold events. But what we have here is a chance for you to learn social media techniques that are going to allow you to do whatever you're passionate about. So as you guys know, our passions have changed over the years. So I want to bring out Crystal. Crystal has been with us for a little while now, and she's a perfect example of understanding going from an employee to an entrepreneur. So Crystal, I'd love for you to chat about your thoughts on someone brand new moving from that employee mindset into the entrepreneur mindset. And as we know, it's very accidental. I still don't really feel like an entrepreneur. I think the closest I've felt to an entrepreneur is when I got my official papers for Summit Affiliate. I'm like, this is bigger than just caring about myself now, how it was a few years ago. And I think that's when I officially thought I'm actually what they would call an entrepreneur. And I was always weird to use that word, but I don't think we should be scared about it. I think we should be, taking it in and, really using it to our advantage. It's a word that is thrown around a lot, but if you build real legitimate businesses, there's no reason why you can't put that entrepreneur tag on yourself. Maybe that nomadic entrepreneur, which is what I used to kind of see myself as. But, it's up to you how you want to tag yourself. But Crystal, come out and let us know about your journey and what someone could expect going from the employee to the entrepreneur.
Hey, can you hear me?
We sure can.
Okay, so I'm Crystal. I'm from a small town in Australia, about 6 hours drive west of Sydney. I am a mum of 2. I started online would have been about 6 or 7 years ago, and I was just looking to replace my income so I could be at home with my daughter more, because I was on maternity leave, and I was on maternity leave and I didn't want to have to go to work, and so I went online and found something to do, and it wasn't quite working how I thought it would go. And so I struggled for years until I actually come across Justin's training, which was probably April, May 2 years ago. Ever since I come across his training is when I actually started getting results, because it was just like I was banging my head against the wall trying to figure out this online thing. And yeah, like it wasn't until I actually started going through his training that that's when I was just like, it's actually quite easy, because all I had to do was follow the steps, and then I got the results. So back in January this year, I quit my job, and then the company that I was affiliated with sort of went downhill, so that sort of didn't work out. And then a couple of months later, Justin and Phil created this company, and yeah, I did actually go back to work for a couple of months, but yesterday I just put my resignation in again. Like I was struggling for probably 3 weeks to 4 weeks, and I just was like fighting against myself in my mind. Like I was still, like I still had that safety net again, but then I thought, like if I don't put the work in, like I don't take away that safety net again, then it's not going to work. So I've taken away that safety net again, and I just when I made that decision in my mind, I just felt so like 100% better. Like I was feeling ill thinking about going to work, because I just knew that being an employee just wasn't what I'm supposed to do. So just having that freedom feeling of being able to do what you want, like I was missing my daughter's school things and things like that, and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to make it happen. And yeah, so
No, it's great, Crystal. I love, what I really got out of what you just said is giving yourself kind of no choice but to succeed. And when I started online, I had just, do you mind just muting, Phil? Do you mind muting anyone that's not muted? So when I started online, I think just a couple of months into kind of looking at what I was doing, I had actually put my old soccer business up for sale. I literally had no plan B. If I didn't succeed, I honestly had no idea what I was going to do. But I think when you really start taking bets on yourself and you really jump out of your comfort zone, that's when you start to shine. When you have those fallback plans, when you're thinking, if this doesn't work out, it's okay. It's going to be much tougher to succeed in anything that you do in life. It's when you really put yourself on the line. It's when you start really, seeing your true self of what you're capable of. And I think even going through school, you guys probably understood that when you had papers to put in, and it's 5 hours before it's due, and you're rushing to get the paper done. When you try to do it a month ago, you're like, I've got a month to go. It's always when the pressure's on, when something's on the line, you just get stuff done. And it's happened in everything in our lives. It's, when we're in a rush, we always get things done. So when you start putting bets on yourself and start really making sure that you are putting yourself on the kind of the edge of what it is that you're trying to do, you're going to have success much quicker. And I know Jade, I'm not sure if Jade's able to come out and say hi, but I know Jade really took some bets on herself. It's a funny story. Phil and I were living in Bali, and we hadn't. I think we met Jade once, and we were on a call with Jade, and we kind of convinced her to quit her job and move to Bali with us. And I basically just told her the same story as I'm saying now, but Jade has not looked back. Are you right, Jade? And now this is not to say quit your job and just start doing whatever. This is not what we ever recommend. It's just something that's happened to us, and it's just an example of putting ourselves on the line to make stuff happen. Now, it doesn't have to mean quitting your job. It could mean a magnitude of things, but it just proves that, when you really are in that situation where you don't have that plan B, you have to make plan A work, right? Your backup to plan A is plan A. Simple as that. So your plan B is plan A. It's just a it's a funny thing, and it's something that you're so scared to put yourself in a situation to do. And people are even scared to just spend $7 and join us at Summit Affiliate. And that's not even really putting yourself in the line. It's literally just jumping in and just grabbing some training so you can see what life is all about in this online world. But seeing those huge things that kind of myself and Jade and Phil and Crystal did, back in the day, it's nuts to see how far we've come when putting ourselves on the line. So I don't really have too much else to add today, guys. We're just gonna keep it nice and short. We just want to say hi, and I really appreciate you all coming on. Whoever brought you here, feel free to reach back out to them and just let them know that you're on the call. We always love knowing who's on the call. In the chat, feel free to say hi, and hopefully we'll see you on the inside. You're going to be introduced to this community. We have a community of about 500 people, and you guys are more than welcome to join at any time. We're always going to be here. We're never going to go any. Every week we show up, and then we'll continue to do that to help you guys realize that the life that you wish to achieve is possible. So thank you for being on the call, guys. We'll see you next time, and have a great day or night wherever you are, and we'll see you soon.